Hey, we're going to be talking about one thing today, and that's the timeline technique. So, what in the world is the timeline technique? Well, before we get to that, let's talk about where we are in the sales process before we use this. So, what we've done up to this point is we've created an environment of really profound trust with this person because we've been doing problem solving throughout. We've started off with identifying maybe 3 to 5 business challenges, and we know what the impact of those business challenges are on the company. And then we also have a really good idea of what those personal impacts to our champions and all involved in this, what those personal impacts are going to be and why they're going to take action to create this new solution. And lastly, we have a really good sense, because of all this, a really good business case to move forward. So once we've done that, then we go ahead and at a high level talk about a range. You're going to be somewhere from here to here from an investment standpoint. And that investment is not just in dollars and cents, but that's actually about time as well. How much time commitment? Do I have to spend any political capital? And they're bought in, right? They're, because of how big the challenge is, and because they're ready, willing, and able to make all investments to overcome that, then we get to the point where maybe you found yourself stuck, right? Oh my gosh, I've worked so hard to get to this point. We've had such good conversation and we've really come up with some good solutions, but now I feel stuck. And I don't know if we just don't know next steps. I don't know if maybe I can't get the motivation of the buyer. And there's all kinds of grief from all sides. And all we want to do is solve this problem. And that's whenever this timeline technique can come into play, because we know this: time kills all deals. So this timeline technique can overcome that. So here's what it is. When you're with your prospect, and this could be net new first time discussion off of the conversation if I'm a shorter sales cycle, or it might be several conversations in, but you can start at a high level and you start by drawing an old timeline, right? So I draw down the timeline and I say, hey, Mr. or Miss Prospect, let's talk through this to get a sense of today is today's date. And let's get a sense, what's the furthest out that you would really like to see problem that you have identified, impact resolved? By when would you really like to see that? Blankety blank date. So we'll call that future date. All right, in order for us to hit that future date, what all do you see needing to happen from your vantage point within your organization? How does this even need to happen? Well, we need to go and talk to IT and make sure that we get all the security signed off on that. We also need to talk to legal. There's going to be several departments involved that we're going to need to have conversations and their buy-in. Okay, yeah, and so us as the seller, we say, well, we're also going to need to talk to our team. We're going to set deadlines and timelines for the delivery of this. Maybe we have training of the personnel. So we put all of these different steps in there, right? So once all of those steps are identified, then we start working backwards. Okay, so how long does it take for IT to do their security check, make sure that they're okay with this new solution coming in? Well, that's definitely 4 weeks. Okay, so that's 4 weeks there. How long does it typically take for legal? Oh my gosh, that could take forever, but that's another 4 weeks. All right, so, and then we just keep going down, and then we turn out that if this date is 1/31/21, we may have found out that, oh my gosh, we needed to start this 3 months ago. There's no way we're going to hit that. So that would give them a sense of urgency to keep this moving along. Or maybe it takes this unbelievably messy approach of, I don't even know how to get this done. And it problem solves with them because they don't know this. They may have never purchased a product or service like yours before, and they're wondering, how in the world do I do it? And they look at you as the trusted advisor because you're helping them work through that process. So that's the way we do it. Now, here's a key takeaway. When we talk about a future state, you want to make the future state very specific. So it'd be something like this. Let's put some clarity around it. So we would want to say something along the lines of, okay, so the furthest out that you would want to see this absolutely fully functional, we've eliminated problem 1, problem 2, problem 3. We're starting to see return on investment from this effort here. We've trained all of the different users. They're fully functioning and executing on it. We've taught all the tactics and techniques, and they're working out really well. And you're now ready to go on vacation and breathe because this has been such a success. By when has that happened? With that specificity, you're getting them emotionally involved to get rid of all of those problems, go to the hope of the future, and it gets them thinking and gets their creative juices flowing. So whenever we start to hit this timeline, they know exactly what those timelines are. You can work through it together. So that is the timeline technique. Hopefully this will be helpful, whether it's first time through that sales cycle or if you're stuck in pipeline and you need to get it going again. You can simply use the line, something along these lines. Hey, listen, one thing that I failed to do is work through with you a great tool that we help our prospects with or our potential customers with is called a timeline. Why don't we work through that? That might help clarify some of the next steps and get all who's involved, what they're looking for, their perspective, their point of view. That might be helpful. Open-minded to that conversation. And that's how we can get it even in a stuck or delayed deal. So hopefully you find this helpful. All the best. See ya.